Right now you're in a position where business is doing well, you're scaling. Your calendar is, let's call it optimized for business growth. But you know that your personal standards have slipped. The relationships, your own self-image, how you're showing up each and every day. You're probably struggling to get up out of bed right now, relying on nicotine, caffeine. Some of the vices are creeping in. And yes, the business is scaling. But you as an individual is nowhere near the man you know you're capable of becoming. And that comes down to your routine. It comes down to your habits. Because we can sit all day, every day. We can be glued to the laptop. We can be working, pushing so hard. Or we can actually reduce the amount of time spent in front of the computer. And we can actually view our personal life as work also. And what I mean by this, if we're spending 12 hours in front of the computer, but yet us, the entrepreneur, the individual, is not operating at his highest capacity, what's going to happen? The effort that you're putting in, you're not going to be getting the same amount of output compared to if you were operating at 100%. You could work for half the time, but get double the amount out. And it comes down to you, because at the end of the day, your business, your life, your relationships, it's just an extension of you, how you show up each and every day, the standards that you hold yourself to. And I know you're the kind of guy that wants to possess it all. The body, the relationships, the career, spirituality. And there is a way to achieve it all. And that's exactly what I'm going to talk you through today. Because I've been the guy where I'm all in on business, personal standards have slipped. I've also been the guy who's been all in on my personal, my fitness, my health, and business have slipped. But I'm here to tell you that there's a perfect balance to grow all areas in harmony. The first thing that needs to happen, we need to get very, very crystal clear as the vision that we want for our entire life. Not just for one area, little pieces here and there. We want to focus on all areas at once. Understand what is it that we actually want. And I see this happen with all the guys that I work with. When they come to me, they're so fixated on the professional side of things. They never take into consideration what they actually want, how they want to look, how they want to feel, the relationships that they want. It's all business. And look, don't get me wrong, business is very, very important, and we do need to be locked in. We need to be obsessed with the mission that we have. For me, I'm so obsessed with my business due to the fact it was a vision given to me from God. God gave me this vision, and it's my duty to show up each and every day and do my level best within my business to have the impact that I want to have in the world. But I also know that me being my level best within my business comes down to me being my level best within my personal life. How I show up each and every day. And once you have that crystal clear clarity as to what you want in all areas of life, we then take a step down. Okay, who do we need to become? We then need to design the character. Because right now, the current versions of us, to reach that next level, and again, this is a work in progress, always. Each time, it's just a new level up. You're going to have to become a different character each time for every phase. The version of me that was working on a construction site, getting pissed every single weekend, he needed to be killed to be the guy who could make an income traveling online. Traveling online? Not what I meant. The version of me on the construction site, it needed to be killed for the version of me that could match my income working online. And then again, it just each time. So it's like we all start in a certain level. And each time you need to create that new character. You need to get very, very crystal clear as to the flaws that you have, the weaknesses that you have. Write them down. The current version of you is simply just not good enough to achieve that next level. The way you show up. So what we need to do is we need to understand where our flaws are, where do we need to improve. And that's what you do. You take some time, you sit, you analyze. The vision, okay, boom. Who does the guy need to be that can actually achieve that vision? How does he look? What are the good habits he has? What are the vices he's eliminated? What kind of energy does he have on a daily basis? What kind of clarity does he have on a daily basis? How does he show up each and every single day? Get crystal clear as to who that version of you needs to become. And then once you understand who that version of you is, we take one more step down. Okay, what is our current day-to-day life like? Audit your environment, audit your routine, audit your habits. Everyone has debt habits and we all have growth habits. What are the debt habits that you currently have right now in your day-to-day life? Maybe it's staying up too late, doom scrolling. Maybe it's over-consuming nicotine, caffeine. Maybe you're not hitting the gym. Maybe your macros is all over the place, which is giving you brain fog, which is keeping your energy levels so low, which is then making you procrastinate when you know you should be doing certain tasks. Maybe your current routine is not prioritizing date night with your missus, and then you're getting stress from your relationships, and then that's causing more stress in your personal life, you're in your career, and then you're getting overwhelmed with all the stress. It comes down to what you're doing on a daily basis. It's all well and good setting the vision, but until you come down to what's happening on a daily basis, the inputs that you're putting in. Each input is either raising your state or lowering your state. So you're doing things that's either killing that vision or growing towards the vision. Your debt habits, your growth habits. So audit that and get very, very crystal clear as to where you're currently at right now. And then when that audit is done, you then create your non-negotiable blueprint. For your vision, for your character, what needs to be done on a daily basis. This becomes non-negotiable. This, setting the vision, that's setting the ceiling. Setting your non-negotiable daily blueprint, that's setting the floor. That's the standards that you will not fall below. Because once you set the standards that you won't fall below, on your worst days, where you're feeling tired, you're maybe feeling a little bit sad, a little bit overwhelmed, the client didn't pay, a client fell off, whatever it might be, you don't let those emotions control you, because if you're letting your emotions control you, you won't get very, very far. You're just going to be up and down. Success is more about managing the lows than the highs, because when things are good, they're good. When things get low, we need to make sure we don't spiral down. Before you know it, a couple of weeks go by, months go by, and you're like, fuck, I need to get myself out of here. No, you understand where your highs are, you understand where your lows are. Once the lows come, which they more than likely will, you know how to manage them, and you can start bringing yourself back up like that. So you create that non-negotiable blueprint. Because once you have crystal clear clarity on the vision, you understand all the bullshit that needs to be removed. Half of your day is probably spent doing things that isn't moving you forward. It's not the highest leverage task. So your blueprint, once you have that vision, personally, professionally, spiritually, relationships, you know, okay, what needs to be removed and what needs to be installed. What needs to happen on a daily basis? For your business growth, your client fulfillment, upskilling, as an example. For your relationships, taking time in the evening, setting date nights for the week. Spirituality, maybe it's your morning alignment process, having some time in stillness. For your body, hitting the gym, hitting your macros, getting to sleep on time. These are all the things that need to happen on a daily basis. Because at the end of the day, the results that you want in life, it just comes down to what you're doing here and now. You're clear on the future, you bring the future to the present, and you show up as that version of you right now. And once you do that, it's just about compounding the days. And success becomes inevitable. I want to show you something here actually. One of my clients, funny guy, really like him. He messaged me. He said, another client signed this morning, 2 in-person meetings next week and like 8 to 10 calls incoming the next 2 days. Business is booming since I started with you. It's no coincidence. Okay, so he actually said something quite funny, which I liked. He said he knew that how he was showing up each and every day, it wasn't the version of him, the man he wanted to be. He knew that. And he said he felt like he was going upstream on a rowing boat. That's how his days felt. He was trying so hard, upstream on a rowing boat. And he just wasn't getting anywhere. He wasn't getting where he wanted to be. Within 2 weeks, he said, I feel like I'm on a speedboat going downstream straight to where I need to be going. And that's the difference. We can, like, the energy, the time that you're putting in, that's not the issue. The issue 9 times out of 10 is going to come down to your routine and your habits. Understanding where you want to get to. Actually being held. You either hold yourself to the standard or you get someone to hold you to that standard. I know personally for myself, I can be very, very self-aware. I can understand, okay, this is where I'm falling short. This is what needs to happen. But for certain things, I don't hold myself to that standard. I need to go to people, whether it's with my body, I have a coach year round. With my routine, I have a high performance coach. With my business, I have a coach to hold me accountable to the highest of standards, to actually call me out on my bullshit as well, because it's easy to bullshit yourself sometimes. I'm working so hard within my business. My body doesn't matter too much. I'll fix that when my business is at X amount. When I hit 50K per month, when I hit 100K per month, my body, I can look after it then. But when you have someone that's going to hold you to a high standard in each and every single area, they call you out on that bullshit. For example, if I try to do boxing, I'll go to a boxing coach. If I want to do running, I've run half marathons, I'll go to a running coach. It just, as my client said, puts you on a fucking speedboat straight to where you want to go. So you're not dicking around, going up and down, going the wrong way, falling down waterfalls, whatever it might be. You go straight to the destination you want to be at. The last thing I want to touch on is your body is the number one lever, the highest leverage thing that you can do on a daily basis. As a business grow tactic, if you want to call it. Because everything I mentioned, creating the vision, designing the character, auditing your routine, creating that non-negotiable blueprint. Once you're dialed in, once you're working towards and maintaining 10% body fat year round, 10 to 12% body fat is non-negotiable for every man. To feel and operate mentally sharp, physically sharp, but operate at the highest standard each and every day. I'm not talking about being half in, feeling okay, looking okay. I'm talking about for the guys who want to possess it all, who want to feel like the fucking man. When they look in the mirror, they know their personal standards are high. They know that what they say they're going to do, they fucking do. Get to that 10% body fat. I want you to do one thing. Set yourself the goal now. Obviously, take everything into consideration. Set up your calendar. Set up your non-negotiable blueprint. But the final piece of the puzzle is get to that 10% body fat. Because you need to be so fucking dialed in with your daily inputs. Your macros needs to be on point. Your training needs to be on point. Your sleep needs to be on point. Your water needs to be on point. But when all those things are on point, as I mentioned earlier, you're operating at 100%. So then every other area of your life is simply just an extension of you. And until you start operating at a higher standard, all the other areas aren't going to raise. They're going to, if you're operating down here, you can be putting in 16-hour days, but you're only just slightly moving the needle forward. Whereas if you operate at the highest and you go 6 hours work, you can get double the amount of work done within that space of time. You're thinking clearer. You're sleeping better. You're recovering better. You remove the brain fog. And the most important thing is you become a man of your word. You look in the mirror and you have that true confidence, that true conviction within yourself. And that's when everything clicks. That's when you can compound growth in all areas of your life. So guys, set the vision, design the character, audit your current environment, your habits, your routine, create a non-negotiable blueprint that you follow each and every day. You design your calendar based off that non-negotiable blueprint. And then get into peak physical shape. I promise you, that will tie everything in together and that will turn you into the man that can just compound growth in all areas of life. Peace and love. We'll see you in the next one.